Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Relation Shots, the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in a relationship. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see a link in the description area below. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, we've got a ton of resources. You'll see all the links in the description area below. But enough about that. Let's talk about you. If you're in a relationship that continues to feel like this roller coaster of mixed signals, it's probably time we talk. Listen, as predictable as a Hallmark movie plot, anxious attachment style and avoidant attachment style are often attracted to each other and end up in relationship together, and they don't work very well together. What happens is the relationship starts off great, but then the avoidant person starts sending mixed signals, right? He says that he cares, but then he also doesn't want to commit to a full-time relationship. That she returns your calls, but she doesn't do it in a very timely manner. And so you start getting mixed signals, which activates your attachment system. You become preoccupied with the relationship, and you're looking for any gesture that would be some kind of reassurance that they're into it. And when you get it, you're like, yes, I knew they were in the relationship, only to get another mixed signal and have a little more anxiety about the relationship. What's happening is the anxious person's attachment system is being activated by the avoidant, who is keeping the distance, not giving them the closeness. Sometimes they want it, sometimes they don't. And that's activating the anxious person's attachment system, which is causing them to over-obsess, be preoccupied with, and be vigilant about the relationship, waiting for some kind of signal of reassurance at all times. And what happens is, over time, what you can begin to believe is that the anxiety that comes with the activation of the attachment system will cause you to believe that this is actually passionate love. And if you do this in enough relationships over and over and over again, you will ultimately equate the anxiety from your activated attachment system with passionate love in a relationship. And that's not a good thing, because that's not what it is. So if you don't hear anything else I say in this video, I want you to hear this right now. An activated attachment system is not passionate love. It is anxiety about the stability of the relationship. And if you don't realize that, here's what happens. You start believing that the activated attachment system is actually love, so you're attracted to the people who are most unhealthy for you. And then when you get into a relationship with somebody who is healthy for you, somebody with a secure attachment system, you'll look at it and you'll say it's boring and we've got no chemistry. And the reality is, it's not boring, and it's not about no chemistry. It's called peace. It's called security and stability in a relationship. But you have come to believe that these feelings of anxiety you have, this vigilance, this preoccupation, oh, that must really be love because I'm thinking about it all the time and I can't stop thinking about them. No, that's an attachment system that's activated. That's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them. So understand, that is not passionate love. Now, with that in mind, let me give you 5 reasons that anxious attachment and avoidant attachment should not be in relationship together. If you're in one, you probably already know this, but here are 5 reasons that anxious and avoidance should not be in a relationship together. Number 1 is opposite intimacy needs. The anxious person needs closeness and intimacy. The avoidant needs distance, separateness, independence, space. These two are going to exasperate each other because the anxious is going to fight to try to get what they need, and all that's going to do is it's going to push the avoidant away. You're going to have different intimacy needs in a relationship, and you're probably never going to get to a place where you can fully close the gap in the difference between what you both want in the relationship. And so it turns into a lot of conflict around trying to fight for the desire of intimacy or lack of intimacy that each one wants. And ultimately what happens is the anxious person gets shamed for being too needy, and the avoidant person gets attacked for not caring, not being present enough, not caring about the relationship. And so it just causes continual conflict in the relationship because you have opposite intimacy needs. Number 2 reason is signal sensitivity. Remember, the anxious person is always watching for reassurance that the relationship is good because they fear abandonment and rejection ultimately in the relationship. So they're extra vigilant, watching for any signal, and they're going to read into signals that are not meant to be signals by the avoidant person. At the same time, the avoidant person is often unconsciously giving off signals that they don't care, their distance, their need for independence. They don't think they're saying I don't care. They're just saying I have these other needs over here. But what is coming across to the anxious person is you don't care. And so unconsciously, they're sending signals they don't mean to send. And then the anxious person on the other side is reading into signals that are not actually signals because they're vigilant, worried about the relationship, and constantly needing assurance from their partner. And you can imagine this is going to continue to cause conflict in the relationship. Number 3 reason is unproductive protest. Here's what's going to happen. Whenever the anxious person is not getting the intimacy and closeness they desire, they're going to move into what they call protest behaviors. These are any behaviors that are fighting to get the attention they want back from the avoidant partner, which could be anything from withdrawal, silent treatment, it could be criticism, it could be attack, it could be control, it could be manipulation. But all these protest behaviors are designed to get the reassurance that they want from their avoidant partner. But the problem is, these protest behaviors actually serve to push the avoidant partner further away, which then exacerbates the situation again. The avoidance is saying, listen, I already struggle a little bit with closeness and intimacy. I need some space. But then when you're doing these protest behaviors, you're attacking me, or you're trying to manipulate me, or punish me, withdraw from me, like that, I don't have the capacity to take care of these things. And oftentimes I don't even recognize them. But even if I do recognize them, I don't really think that's my responsibility to try to manage the feelings that you're having in the relationship. And so these protest behaviors just become really unproductive in the relationship and don't help but further exacerbate all those things that are going on in the relationship. Number 4 is reassurance deficit. Again, the anxious person needs reassurance that the relationship's okay, that we're going to be good, that you're not leaving me, that you do care about me. And so they're going to continue to need this reassurance. And of course, the avoidant is going to be overwhelmed by the needs for reassurance. And so they're going to pull away. Again, what they're trying to do is protect their own attachment system from being activated. So they're going to pull away and they're going to withdraw, not giving the anxious person the reassurance they need. And they're going to feel like this may be too much for me. I don't know if I can fully give them all that they need. At some point, you just got to believe I'm here for you. And then that's going to turn into another issue in the relationship. So that reassurance deficit of the anxious not getting the reassurance they need, and then the avoidant feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to provide the reassurance. More often they think it needs to be given. That's going to cause problems in a relationship. And a 5th one is going to be conflict over clarity. Again, because the anxious needs reassurance, they need to know, they need to make sure there is absolute clarity on the relationship. What are we doing? Where are we going? What is this? What would you call this? Are you committed to this? And the problem with the avoidant is the avoidant actually likes a little fuzzy area in here. You know what I mean? It's like this a little bit of an ambiguity makes me not feel as suffocated, makes me not feel as controlled or committed to the relationship. I may not trying to be out there doing anything else, but with a little bit of lack of clarity, I actually can breathe a little and don't feel like I'm stuck and controlled in this committed relationship. And so they're like, I'm good with a little bit of fuzzy. While the anxious person's like, now I need some clarity. We need to define what we are. We need to put a name on this, a label on this. How come you don't have me listed on your social media? How come, all these questions, because like, I want some clarity about the relationship I'm in because I want some reassurance. And the avoidant's like, you know what? I think it's okay that it's a little fuzzy. Again, I'm not saying that the avoidant is trying to be unfaithful or shady or date around, but I think they're fine with, you know what? I'm okay if there's still some questions around the relationship. I don't need every question answered all the time because that's not a need for them in the relationship. So that will cause conflict again because they're fighting for clarity in the relationship. So there are 5 reasons that anxious and avoidance should not be together. And what happens is they often get in relationship together. And if you don't recognize why you are attracted to the other kind of person and understand that most of that attraction is coming out of an unhealthy place where your attachment system is getting activated, not because it's love, because they're just your type, because you got so much great chemistry. It's because you've gotten used to having anxiety in a relationship that should not belong in a healthy relationship. And so stability and security have become boring to you, not because it's not love, but because your system has been activated. So don't mistake passionate love with an activated system. You need to have a healthy relationship, and anxious and avoidance, again, have a hard time having that healthy relationship because they're just on opposite ends of the spectrum with what they need as far as closeness and intimacy in the relationship. We could probably have a whole list of 259 differences in a relationship, but there's 5. Hopefully that adds some clarity to you and helps you. Love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Again, if we can help you in any area of your relationship, we'd love to be part of your relationship journey. Check out the links in the description area below. And until next time, see you right back here on Relation Shots.